Welcome back to Ready Set College. I'm your host, Rob Schwartz. We're here today with Trevor Mizrahi from Premier College Guidance, my partner and friend. And we are talking all things financial aid, especially for you seniors. Trevor, we didn't quite get through all the things that a family might need to know about. Well, how do you file that appeal? What grounds are there so you can say, hey, hold on a second, this letter awarding me X number of dollars isn't quite legit, and here's what you need to know, School X.
Right, yeah, it's one of the more important things that a family really needs to take serious about this process is you don't want to leave it up to the schools to determine how much you're going to end up paying for college. So if you have any of the following situations where maybe you had a loss of income, you went from full-time to part-time, or you lost a job. Maybe you had one-time income that wasn't normal. You received an inheritance. You sold an appreciated asset that was reflected on your tax return, but that only happened one time. You have high medical expenses that really aren't viewed on your tax return. These are all circumstances that would truly give the school a clearer picture as to what's really happening with the family's financial situation. I will say, and please take this very seriously, is a college knows the very thin line between need and greed. Meaning that if you're awarded a pretty good financial aid offer and you're asking for more without any real special circumstances that you have, colleges can see that greed line being passed, and they have the ability to take money away and give it to another family that is more needy than you. So just be very careful as to how you approach the special circumstance appeals or negotiation process.
That's why he's my boss, folks. Trevor Mizrahi with Premier College Guidance. Now we're going to dive into the bottom line, which is what is the real cost of college? Trevor, take us through. We got a slide that's coming up on the screen right now. Take us through what is the actual cost of college?
Good. So the way that we could look at it is we have a cost of attendance of, let's say, $20,000. And when we're talking cost of attendance, we're really talking about everything that a family is going to incur as the cost in 1 year. So this is room and board, transportation, books, tuition. We're not leaving anything out. So let's just use a scenario where the school costs $20,000 and the family is expected to pay, their expected family contribution is $5,000. So the difference is going to be $15,000. So that $15,000 really represents what you're eligible for in need-based financial aid. So what happens now is if you chose a school where you're representing $15,000 of need-based eligibility, but that school really only has a budget to meet 50% of the family's need, or $7,500, well then what that means is the school can actually help give that family some support through grants, scholarships in the amount of $7,500. Now, notice that there's only 50% of the need met. So that really means that there's a 50% unmet need. And whenever there's an unmet need, who pays for that? Well, it's the family that pays for that. So really what ends up happening is your initial family contribution of $5,000, now you're going to add whatever that unmet need amount was, which in this case is $7,500. The new out-of-pocket expense for that family just jumped up to $12,500. So it's something that I'd say 99% of parents don't have a clue about, but it happens every single day.
So many families make the mistake of taking a look at the prestige of a school and not paying attention to what is the actual cost of going here based on our financial situation. Another important part that I think it's left out, and you do a terrific job covering this, Trevor, is this idea of, well, how much of that money is free money and how much of that money is borrowed money? Let's take a look at the next slide, and that might help us kind of crystallize some of these ideas.
Right. So I always think it's funny when I do my seminars or my workshops, and I ask parents, I said, what's your definition of financial aid? And I pretty much always get the same response: grants, scholarships, things that help us pay for college. And what's really unknown to families is how colleges coined the term financial aid is a little bit different than the way that we interpret financial aid to be. And what I mean by that is, if you end up getting an award letter from a college and they give you grants, they give you scholarships, but Also, at the bottom end of that financial aid award, you see a Stafford loan or a parent direct loan. Did you know that colleges actually consider a loan to be financial aid? And it's funny, so when you go to a college's website and you see, oh wow, this school actually offers $20,000 a year in financial aid. Really, we haven't peeled the curtain back all the way, because what they might be telling us is $15,000 is really a loan and $5,000 are free money.
Part of what we do at Premier College Guidance is to answer the questions individual families have about how to deal with this process. The best part is looking at a family sitting in their office or their home, or having them come into our office in Westlake and say, we can help your child answer their questions and provide them the guidance they need to be successful. But as a parent, we have the pleasure and the privilege to look you in the eye and say, we're going to help take care of all these problems. We're going to help you with the FAFSA. We're going to help you with the profile. We're going to help you with an appeal process. We're going to help you understand what you can do in terms of assets that you can improve your situation. Come back in 30 seconds. You're going to learn all about that on Ready, Set, College.